So you are discussing bonus share. Bonus share cannot be treated as dividend as per definition. Definition does not include bonus share to be dividend. So it will be treated as capital receipt. So that's why you cannot tax it. But dividend could be taxed. Dividend could be taxed in the hands of the shareholders whenever they receive the dividend. But there is a debate on this issue because profit of the company is once taxed. And again, when dividend is given to the shareholders, the dividends are also taxed. So it's in one sense double taxation, but it is double taxation. Sometimes it could be logical because these are two separate entities. Shareholder is one entity and the company is another entity. When the company makes the profit, it has to pay dividend. It has to pay tax. And when an individual makes profit out of anything, then he has to pay dividend. He has to pay tax. So that is also true. In that sense, it is taxed twice. And then let us see employee. There is a definition for an employee. Employee means anybody who is in the management of the affairs of the company. It includes the managing director, deputy managing director, general manager, and any other manager or any other employee who is responsible for maintaining the affairs of the company. It is necessary in order to understand that the notice of income tax by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes could be served on the employee. An employee could be anybody who is in the management of the company. So that's why whenever a notice is served on the manager, it means that the notice has been served on the company and the company is responsible for appearing before the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes for hearing or any other purposes, whatever. So fair market value, it has a definition here. What is fair market value? Fair market value is needed sometimes in order to determine the price of an asset or in order to find out the capital gains from the asset. And how to determine it? The price which such asset would ordinarily fetch on sale in the open market on the relevant day. And where such price is not ascertainable, the price which the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes may, with the approval in writing of the inspecting Joint Commissioner of Taxes, determine. That means that that's the price of an asset when it is put on the market, open market. That means if I put it in the open market, it can fetch a price, and that price would be treated as a fair market value. But if it cannot be determined, then it will be determined by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes after having approval of the inspecting Joint Commissioner of Taxes in writing. That means it depends on the discretion of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. So fair market value is to be determined for many reasons, and you will find in the income tax ordinance that the fair market value would be determined for a building, for a capital asset, for other assets valuation as well. And then the definition of firm comes in, and the definition of firm means the partnership firm as per Partnership Act 1932. So when a partnership firm is there in Bangladesh, it is constituted under the Partnership Firm of Partnership Act 1932, which is in existence in Bangladesh till now, although this was framed by the British in 1932. So you know the partnership, how to form a partnership, and what are the two types of partnerships. One is registered partnership, another is unregistered partnership. And the Register of Joint Stock Companies and Firms is responsible for registering the partnership firm. He is the same person as incorporating the companies as well as registering the partnerships. So partnership is according to the definition given in the Partnership Act 1932. And the act says that the relationship between the persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. It means that there should be at least two persons in order to form a partnership, and there should be more than two persons, and the limit should be up to 20. It should not be more than 20. And it is a relationship. Partnership means it's a relationship between two persons or between more than two persons who have agreed to share the profits to carry on a business. And the business could be carried on by one or any or by all. It depends on the agreement between or among the partners. So the spirit of partnership is that sharing of profit according to their own arrangement, own agreement. So if there are two partners, partnership could be in the form of sharing profits at the rate of 50% each, or at the rate of 90% and 10% respectively between the two partners. So anything could happen. And there could be one person who is responsible for maintaining the business or a management of the business, and other partners would not take part in the management of the business. So that is the agreement among or between the partners. Okay, then come to the definition of income. Income means profit, of course, you know it very well, or it could be gains as well. And loss of the company is also known as income, because this is a negative income. If there is loss, it means that it is a negative income. Okay, so any amount on which income tax is imposed, that could also be income, because if there is no income, there is no income tax. So if tax is imposed on any amount, it means that this is an income. But here one point you have to know, that the income has to be revenue income. It cannot be capital income. Capital income or capital gain cannot be taxed. So it's a revenue income, of course. So when there is a revenue income, tax will be imposed on that. Income could be anything. It could be profit from business, profit from consultancy, profit from providing services. Then it could be interest, it could be dividend, it could be anything. So if you find something which is earned by you in the form of providing services or in the form of doing business, then it could be taxed and it could be treated as income. Interest, it has got a definition here. Interest means interest payable in any manner in respect of any money borrowed or incurred, and includes any service fee or other charge in respect of the money borrowed, or debit incurred, or in respect of credit facility which has not been utilized. So whenever you are borrowing some money from the bank, you are paying interest on it. It means that you are paying service charges to the bank. Sometimes the Islamic banks, they
Recording
say
in progress.
It is not interest, rather this is a share of the profit, or this is service charges. So if there is service charge, of course, that is also income. Interest, sorry. And if you take a credit facility from the bank, but if the credit facility has not been utilized, still then your interest is accrued. So when some interest is accrued, although not utilized, still it will be treated as an interest. It generally relates to borrowing of money, or it could be from deposit. If you deposit something into the bank, definitely you are having interest out of that, or service charges out of that, or profit out of that. It would be treated as interest. Then come to the definition of market value. So market value means the value which it ordinarily fetches in the market, open market. So on a particular day, if I put some crops on the market, and if I can sell it out to others at a certain price, that certain price should be treated as the market value. So market value means existing price which is prevailing in the market. In simple language or in clear language, it is like that. So rice sells at taka 1200 per month nowadays in the market. So it means that the market value of the rice is taka 1200. So this is like that. Then come to the definition of perquisite. Perquisite means extra benefits. Extra benefits means you are getting salary, you are getting house rent, you are getting medical allowances, etc. But apart from those, you may get something which is not related directly to the payment of your salary. So, for example, if you are getting your electricity bills of your house paid by the company, then it is, of course, perquisite. If your telephone bill, which is used in your house, and it is paid by the company, definitely this is perquisite. If the educational expenses of your children are borne by the company, it is, of course, your perquisite. So like that. The benefit, it is a benefit actually, which could be convertible or into money or not. It could be convertible into money or it could not be convertible into money. It doesn't matter, but provided to an employee by an employer called by whatever name other than contribution to a recognized provident fund, approved pension fund, approved gratuity fund, and approved superannuation fund. But if the company pays to your provident fund, to your superannuation fund, pension fund, etc., those are not treated as your perquisite. So other benefits which are convertible or not into money, those will be treated as your perquisite. Person. We discussed person before. So person includes an individual, a firm, an association of persons, a Hindu undivided family, a local authority, a company, or every other artificial juridical person. All these are actually included in the definition of person. So whenever we say person, it could be anything. Could be individual, could be company, could be firm, etc. So then come to the definition of resident. It's important for you. Resident, as I told you before, that as per income tax ordinance definition of a resident is different from the general definition. Here the resident does not mean a citizen. So resident means anybody could be resident in Bangladesh. May he be a foreigner or a Bangladeshi. The Bangladeshi may not be a resident, but the foreigner may be a resident. So depends on the conditions. What are the conditions? The condition is that in a particular year, the person concerned has to stay in Bangladesh for at least 182 days or more. This is one condition, but if he does not fulfill this condition, then another condition is there. So if he has been in Bangladesh for a period of, or for periods amounting in all to 90 days or more in that year, having previously been in Bangladesh for a period of, or for periods amounting in all to 365 days or more during 4 years preceding that year. That means if we consider 2021, 2020, 2021, for this year, we are to determine a person whether he is a resident or not. So if we see that that person actually stayed in that year for 90 days in Bangladesh, so he cannot be treated as a resident. But if we again see that he has stayed in Bangladesh in that year for 90 days, having previously been in Bangladesh for 300 or 65 days or more during 4 years preceding that year. That means before that income year, he had been in Bangladesh for more than 365 days or more during the 4 years preceding that year. In that case, he will be treated as a resident. So this is the definition of a resident and the definition of a Hindu undivided family. The definition of a Hindu undivided family is that when the control and management of whose affairs is situated in Bangladesh, then it would be treated as a Hindu undivided family in Bangladesh. Again, Bangladeshi company or any other company, the control and management of whose affairs is situated wholly in Bangladesh in that year. So if the management of affairs of a company is wholly situated in Bangladesh, then it will be treated as a resident. A trust, fund, or entity, the control and management of whose affairs is wholly situated in Bangladesh in that year, it is also treated as a resident. And a local authority or every other artificial juridical person, those are also treated as resident because they are always in Bangladesh. Local authority is always in Bangladesh. And then come to the definition of salary. Salary, you know it. Salary means monthly payment, pay or wages, and then annuity, pension, or gratuity, whatever it is. Fees, commissions, allowances, perquisites, profits in lieu of or in addition to salary and wages, any advance of salary or any arrear of salary, all these, any leave encashment, all these are actually salaries. Speculation business, that is an important definition. Speculation business means it's a business, purchase and sale of some commodity, including stocks and shares, which is periodically or ultimately settled otherwise than by the actual delivery or transfer of commodity or scripts, but does not include business, in which a contract in respect of raw materials or merchandise is entered into by a person in course of its manufacturing or mercantile business to guard against loss through future price fluctuations, etc. So we say that when there is a business, purchase and sale business, which is periodically settled otherwise than by transfer of the commodity or scripts, etc. But sometimes there is a contract between two parties that is meant for protection of the fluctuations in price. In that case, it will not be treated as a speculation business. Otherwise, this selling of shares and purchasing of shares for the short time period, that is called a speculation business. It's like that. Tax day, as we told you before, the tax day is the 30th day of November each year. Earlier, this was 30th September every year, and before that it was 15th September every year. But nowadays this is 30th November every year. Transfer, you mean transfer? How do you define transfer? In relation to a capital asset, it includes the sale, exchange, or relinquishment of the asset or extinguishment of any right therein, but does not include the transfer of capital asset under a gift, bequest, or will, or irrevocable trust. It means that if I sell a good or a capital asset, it is transfer. If we exchange it, it is also a transfer. But if we make a gift, transfer it through a gift, so it is not a transfer. If I make a will of my property to a person concerned, to my heir, then it is not a transfer. So the distribution of the assets of a company to its shareholders in its liquidation. At the time of liquidation of the company, if the assets are distributed among the shareholders, so that transfer would not be treated as transfer in the true sense of the term as per Income Tax Ordinance 1984. The distribution of capital assets on the dissolution of a firm or other association of persons or on the partition of a Hindu undivided family. When a firm dissolves, the distribution of the assets among the partners will not be treated as transfer. And again, when association of persons dissolves, the distribution of assets among the members of the association will not be treated as transfer. And when partition takes place in a Hindu undivided family, then the distribution of the assets among the members of the family will not be treated as transfer. So this is all about the definitions. That means the important definitions I have identified. But there are other definitions maybe which are not that significant, but in course of your study of the income tax ordinance, you will be able to know all those definitions. But try to understand each and every definition in a very elaborative way so that you can make everybody understand. Sometimes you need to be consulted by the clients, or you need to advise the companies, or if you are in the firm, of course, you may be dealing with income tax issues. So that's why this is needed. So if you have any question, you can ask me the question. If you do not have, then we would call it a day.
কোঅপারেটিভ সোসাইটি, এটার স্যার প্রফিট ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন গুলা কিরকম হয়, নাকি এটার প্রফিট ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন কি মাস্ট বি করা লাগে কোঅপারেটিভ সোসাইটি?
Cooperative society depends. It depends on the objective of the cooperative society. So if the condition is that they have to distribute profits among the members of the cooperative society, then it is a must. But if it is not so, cooperative society, of course, sometimes what we say, it is for commercial purposes. Say, for example, milk is collected from different people. So milk is collected from different people. They are supplying the milk to the cooperative society in order to sell the milk in bulk to companies. So what happens? I am collecting milk from 100 farmers. The farmers are, rearing cows. So they are supplying me milk. So when I collect the milk in bulk, then I sell it to a company or to supermarkets, etc. So in that case, I am making a profit. So if my profit is there, definitely it will be distributed among the members. But if the purpose of the cooperative society is to donate this profit to a philanthropic organization, that means I am donating for noble causes or hospital, etc. So in that case, there is no question of distribution of the profit. So it depends on the objective of the cooperative society, how it has been formed.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you. So can we stop here then? I believe I don't have any question from you, so I can stop. Thank you very much for your attendance and patient.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Assalam.